face and start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The goods from the woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Sam Harder.
And I'm Carter Glasscock.
And today we are joined by a great comedian and a dude that I think I've probably known this man as long as I've been in LA. I feel like I probably met you around 2012, 2013 at the Unurban open mic hosted by our friend Dr. Pat Riley.
Omar Nava.
Omar Nava, welcome to the show.
Buddy.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I consider this long overdue. We've been around it, man, for a while.
Man. I think is that when you moved here?
I moved here in 2012,
Okay.
like in September of 2012, and I feel like by early 2013, I would have seen you over there at the Unurban.
Yeah, for sure. I moved here. It's actually 10 years this month. I don't remember
Hot
what
damn.
day. Yeah, everyone. I feel like remembers their day, their anniversary.
Yeah.
I don't. It was sometime in January. It was really rainy. But yeah, I've been here 10 years, so for sure I probably would have been.
God, that is
We're from originally
Congratulations.
El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Texas boy.
Texas
Texas, Texas
Okay.
forever, as they say on the old Friday Night Lights. There,
I'm glad we had you on because you have a great radio voice.
Do I?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Soothing, melodious.
I have always thought my voice was shitty. Can I swear on this?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely,
Fuck,
yeah.
shit, piss. Say whatever you like.
Do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've always
Pussy.
thought I've always thought my voice was pussy.
No, it is very nice. You have a soothing voice. I think.
Timbre, I
It's
believe
the
they
bass.
called it. Yeah.
Timbre.
Sonorous.
Yeah, you could easily host a smooth R&B show like The Quiet Storm or something.
Ooh, yeah, like a 93.5.
Yeah. When Art LeBeau finally goes, Omar Nava next in line.
Submit my res.
Yeah, you could do long distance dedications to dudes in prison named Spider.
Or lead singers from Power Man 5000 named Spider.
Oh man, we still got to go see PMFK at some point.
Dude,
they
I was
play at the
obsessed with them when I was a kid.
They play at the Whiskey all the time.
They do?
The
That
Power
makes
Man
sense.
5000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was using insider slang. I called them the PMFK.
Terrible new metal band from the early 2000s. The younger brother of Rob Zombie is their lead singer named Spider. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Dude, it's fun. They do like space themed shit. It's fun.
Yeah, it's they
It just sounded worse and worse every
Yeah,
time you
it's-
had
it's not good.
another
Yeah.
description of it.
they are a friend of the show and a person living on the other side of that wall, Luke Jensen's favorite band.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
favorite
boy.
band of all time.
We got to
Take
get
it back
him
then.
in here.
Yeah.
Is that what he works out to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is what it's like when
This is when delts collide.
delts collide. There we go. I was looking for it, and you found it. Looking for the goal, and Garter hit it first. But yeah, so today, this is a concept for a show that I have probably had in my head for 3 years now, and literally, I remember that I want to do this episode while I'm at a Super Bowl party where I'm like, fuck, we forgot to do it again this year. And that is, so I'm going to come clean with everybody. I'm a college football fan. The NFL is from time to time interesting to me, but truthfully, it's only when I have players that I liked when they played at the college team that I'm for, Auburn, in the Super Bowl. So the last time I was just jazzed about the Super Bowl was
Cam Newton,
when
Peyton
Cam
Manning.
Newton and Peyton Manning were going one-on-one. And of course, I was watching that game with essentially the entirety of the Denver comedy scene. Kristen Rands, Troy Walker.
Yeah.
Like, they were all over at Joe Raines and Wes Van Horn's house to watch it. And of course, Joe and Wes are, Alabama fan shitheads. So they were like, fuck Cam Newton. You know what I mean?
They were correct.
And so I was the one person, and because I don't follow it that closely, I was trying to stay in my lane and stuff, but I made the mistake of talking one piece of shit at the beginning of that game, and it was when the announcer comes on and they go, ladies and gentlemen, if Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos manage to score this win, this will be Peyton Manning's 200th career win. Right now he's sitting at 199, and it was supposed to be his retirement game.
Right, yeah.
And all I said was, man, it's a shame he's not going to make 200. and then the Carolina Panthers proceeded to get the living shit kicked out of them by Dr. Frankenstein and his Denver Broncos. I call him that, of course, because his head is still growing due to steroids. If you look at a picture of Peyton Manning, we'll put this on our Twitter. Look at him when he played for Tennessee, where he had a normal forehead, and then when he retired, where he was Dr. Robotnik. He was a conehead. He was Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, there's some water in there. Yeah, the hair is kind of fallen by the wayside of that big bulge.
That's just swelling from CTE.
Yeah, well, CTE and roids. Yeah, he gets bashed on the heads, and then he takes the roids. Allegedly, and then
it's like, you remember in cartoons when someone would get hit on the head and the thing would just throw, like,
it would lift his hat up.
Yeah.
He had a little tiny hat, and it would get lifted up.
Eli doesn't have this problem. Does Eli juice?
I think everyone juices.
They all juice, right?
I mean,
they're all juicing.
we're going to hit this eventually, so we might as well. Has anybody seen the Aaron Hernandez documentary that's just come out?
No, I've seen Twitter has seen it, but I haven't seen it.
Buddy, that shit is wild.
What is it on?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
It's a 3-episode just documentary. Each episode, I think, is an hour. So basically, and I like how they're doing this now, just breaking it up into episodes because they think that we can't handle the concept of a 3-hour-long movie. But
yeah. They're correct. Yeah,
they're correct. But a lot of the thing they talk about is just after the game, there would just be a big line for painkillers just to be directly injected into the site of the injury and stuff like that. And they just that way it was just a big mill to keep these athletes able to physically play or whatever. So you have to assume that if painkillers are that rampant, the steroids are just a given. Yeah.
Now this is just a quick capsule guess as to what the show is about. So didn't he develop murderous tendencies or something?
That's one way to put it. He killed probably 3 people.
Okay, so is it like a Chris Benoit scenario?
Well, that's
no, he killed himself in prison.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he got.
We like to keep it light on the show.
Yeah. So he got convicted of the murder that he for sure did, and they know he for sure did it because he left the guy on a heap of gravel and
spit a piece of gum next to him.
Not only a piece of gum, and he smoked a blunt. So there was a piece of cotton candy Bubblicious with his DNA on it next to the body, and a mostly smoked blunt with his DNA on it,
and like a signed headshot.
Dude, it's everything but. And
I do joke about this on stage.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
Was it really cotton candy flavored?
Yeah. Oh, they talk about it. Yeah.
Appropriate flavor for a murder.
Blue raspberry cotton candy.
Bubblicious. Yeah. And there's video of him buying the gum.
If you go to the
and him holding the receipt up to the cameras.
Him tweeting about how long the CVS receipts are.
If you go to the Wikipedia for Bubblicious gum and click trivia, this is the only piece of trivia that exists for Bubblicious gum is that a piece of gum was connected to the conviction of Aaron Hernandez. That's the only piece of trivia.
They should put that in the wrapping like a Bazooka Joe. It's on every piece of Bubblicious gum.
Yeah. So not only does it have his DNA, it has his fucking teeth marks on it too. You couldn't convict yourself in a worse way than.
So at least 1, but at most 3, or his.
Yeah, well,
his murder count?
And that guy basically, from what I gather, Aaron Hernandez basically got rocked in the head 1,000,000 times, so he's got that going on, but also is stoned all day, every day, and he's a terrible
What's the problem with that?
Well, nothing unless you're trying to commit a murder.
Dude, it's an herb. It comes from the planet, dude.
Nothing. And believe me, I have nothing against it. But
it's when you mix it with CTE.
I don't have a problem with that. I think as far as the pain treatment goes, it's great. My
Takes
problem
the edge
is,
off, dude.
For the love of God, get sober the day you're going to kill somebody. At least do it right. Just as a true crime fan, I'm like, Jesus,
get sober, shave, wear a suit.
Yeah, come on.
Really be present in the experience.
I know. You got to be aware of the dumb things you're leaving in your wake when you kill a man. He's so fucked up, though. My point is, he shot the guy several times everywhere but where kills you. So he unloads he had a 45. The second
unloaded a clip into his foot.
Pretty much shot him in the arms, in the leg and shit. And then the guy falls on the ground, and then he blows off the back of his head.
Oh,
Jesus.
And then apparently just starts dropping his DNA everywhere as he
Sprinkling
leaves.
evidence.
Yeah. And what's funny is, Aaron Hernandez lives in this ultra rich neighborhood, and the man he murdered literally only knows one person in the entire town, and it's Aaron Hernandez. He came from on the other side of Boston to come visit him, and they're like, why would this guy be here? It's like, well, he knows that football player with violent tendencies.
Have you guys seen Barry?
Oh yeah.
I know Carter watches that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this just reminds me of that one Marine in
like the really gung ho guy who wants
Yeah.
to who wants to go and take over the drug house with him or something.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it doesn't. Well, no spoilers.
I
but-
know.
Oh, you can
that's
spoil.
why I don't
Yeah,
like it.
that's
spoil Barry?
No,
Okay.
don't spoil anything.
No, okay.
No,
you don't
no,
spoil
Yeah.
on this show.
Well,
It does remind me of
Well, I mean, Rivers just spoiled the documentary.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was a football documentary.
we all know the ending of the Aaron Hernandez story.
Wait, does this documentary? I thought I heard something about like he was like repressed homosexual.
Yeah, there's that element to
Okay,
it. That's
cool.
I mean, they slam dunk as far as just things to focus on in a documentary where you're like, wow, there's just a bunch of crazy shit happening.
I'll tell you, I just call the news spoilers because I want to see the docuseries before it.
Also, he before this he shot a man in the face, and that guy lived.
Jesus, real Dick Cheney style.
Yeah. He shot a guy in the face. That guy lived, and then he's in the documentary. They're interviewing him, and basically he's like, no, I'm not going to press charges. I'm going to handle this myself, like that kind of thing. Or he was like, he wouldn't tell the cops who shot him and stuff. So that guy's cool. Fucking shout out to a real one.
Well, didn't he grow up in a real like projects or gangster ass neighborhood type thing?
Well, no, not really. Aaron Hernandez's father was a kind of famous football player too, and his dad was one of those like Tiger Woods' dad, like a crazy sports dad. And so no, but then his dad kind of died suddenly, and then his mom sort of basically couldn't handle raising him, and a lot of that sort of his lashing out early in his youth was sort of seen as this kind of just lashing out, I guess, at his mom and stuff like that. Then they make mention of the fact that he's probably bare minimum latent homosexual, if not other psychological problems. And then also he gets hit in the head a bajillion times. But yeah, so the first murder he for sure did. He gets locked up for it, and then in the process of discovery for the first murder, they go to his cousin's house. They get a warrant to go search his cousin's house, and they find a murder car, a car that was involved in a double homicide drive-by.
There's like two axes on the handle. There's minigun turrets coming out of the side of
It
it.
was one of those cars, it's a car from the Road Warriors, it's the Nitro truck.
Now, what do you need this car for?
Why is there
Going off road?
Why does this odometer say kill count?
Why is there a little homunculus man riding on top of a big guy with a flamethrower?
We like to keep things on the up and up at the Twisted Metal Car Emporium.
Yeah, it's the guy with the two big wheels. Hey, what's up? I'm the murder car.
The murder clown selling cars to people.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth,
Sweet Tooth,
Yeah,
right.
Sweet Tooth chilling in the garage there. So they find this car that they'd been looking for over a year. And that was after he got his $40 million contract. So essentially, the moral of the story, the NFL paid a man $40 million to play an entire year of football while he was probably a man who drive-by shot two people and killed them for spilling a drink on his shirt. That was why. But he got...
Wait, how expensive was the shirt?
it was...
Was it like a red
nice-
wine? 'Cause that's hard to get
that's
out.
also hard to get out, yeah.
His
We have to
favorite-
immediately find like a
favorite
Coke or
shirt.
something
Yeah,
and pour it
the
on there.
seltzer water.
Yeah.
Seltzer water.
What's crazy about that shooting is it happened at a bar on a Sunday night. I'm like, dude, what could the chillest place on earth is a bar on a Sunday night, unless there's like,
What if you
Well, I don't
just,
know, Carter,
What
what-
if you just lost the big game?
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the shirt. The sentimental value of the shirt, perhaps. Maybe it was a worthless shirt.
Is Sunday generally a chill night? I feel like Sunday's a chill night at a bar. You've bartended.
Yeah. Well, the bar I worked at was closed on Sunday. Thank God. But I hear that's not the
Chick-fil-A
case.
bar.
Oh yeah, it's not the case anymore apparently. And yeah, no, I think like people go into bars on Sundays with the intention of like just a quick nip before I start the week, and then like 3 hours later they're like, I'm drunk, and they start throwing shit around.
I hate my life.
Yeah, I'm a regular here. You can't talk shit to me.
Oh God.
Yeah, just like a little just a little something to cap off a great weekend.
And then 2 seconds later, you spilled wine on my shirt. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. Well, I'm the wine drinker of this bar, okay? Like, yeah, it can go off. I mean, at any bar, it can go off the rails on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. or whatever.
But yeah, they bust open his cousin's house, and there is this car just chilling in the driveway, covered in cobwebs. Like clearly, has just been kept there out of sight. And it's like, dude, you're so rich. How fucking hard is it to get rid of this car? Like, there's I mean, I don't know. They
Have someone else do your killings, at least.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
get your hands dirty here.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Good
other
idea.
How do you find the time? What with all the workouts, the video rooms, or whatever?
And the other thing that was
Yeah, he was a good
film.
player. He's a good player.
the other thing that was funny was not funny for the murdered men, but in the documentary. So the first two guys he killed by shooting 5 shots out of a 6-shot 357 revolver, and then he proceeded to get he got a cylinder of a revolver with 5 shots in it tattooed on his side. And then after he shot the guy in the face, one time he had the exact 45 shell that he shot the guy in the face with falling with smoke on it. So he basically admitted to the crimes tattooed on his
God.
body. It's so
It's like
watch
the Illustrated Man, but
Dude.
like
Yeah.
murder.
It really is. Yeah.
Oh, this story? Oh, I'll tell you about this story.
It was in the year this year.
It was the date you were trying to corroborate.
So wait, did he play at the same time as Gronkowski? Did they
Yeah.
just have two
Oh, yeah.
like beasts of tight ends?
Dude, Gronk's interviews in this documentary, that he didn't interview for the documentary directly, but it just showed a bunch of the things after the conviction.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. And they would be like, but they would just try to press it. And he was just not into
Oh,
it.
I thought you meant like for the documentary. Like he came in, sat down for the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
No,
was like, I don't
no.
want to talk about it. They got up and shook hands and left.
No, they were using like footage from ESPN interviews and stuff like that.
Oh,
where he
okay.
was just not fucking into it. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Media always does that with sports incidents. It's definitely not his place to comment on Aaron Hernandez's murder.
Sure.
There's nothing that Gronk can say about that that's going to be good for anybody. Gronk, that's probably the only smart thing you ever did.
And we know you listen to this podcast.
With a name like Gronk.
yeah.
Gronk. I am Gronk.
Yeah, well, Gronk did. I think he did hop a banister at a WrestleMania. He was like a planned part of the
Yeah.
show, but the security woman who was standing next to him when he hopped the banister didn't know who he was or that he was part of the show, and she basically grabbed him and shit like that, and someone had to be like, no, he's part of the show. He's part of the show.
No, he's gonna break your arm. Yeah, let go immediately.
But yeah, so outside of if it's somebody I have a personal investment in from being a member of a college football team I like, or if it's whatever, I generally watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime show. I'm one of those people, and the halftime show of the Super Bowl is always interesting. It's not always good. In fact, it's rarely perfectly done, but at the very least, it's always evocative of the larger culture. Even if it's aspiring to kind of be for everybody, it can't help but be a product of whatever the fuck is happening in that exact moment. Or at least that's sort of the modern incarnation of it. So this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and we're finally doing it. We're talking about the halftime show. Venturing into sort of murky territory here, because Super Bowl doesn't like you saying the name Super Bowl.
What?
A lot.
No, they don't.
They really don't like you saying the name Super Bowl.
Meaning
So-
like recording the words Super Bowl
Who
and
is
putting
they?
it out.
huh?
Yeah.
The NFL.
No,
Trademark.
but they don't like
Well,
Us?
So
Anyone?
if you listen to radio shows that are not directly affiliated with the NFL, they will usually refer to it as the big game on Sunday.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Always.
It's a weird thing.
Unless it's a direct NFL sponsor type deal. I was watching UFC last night. They were advertising the game, and it's seemingly for the channel that's gonna be on. And even at the end of the commercial, they go, and they're gonna compete for the Lombardi trophy.
The Vince Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, they'll call it the big game or.
So what happens if someone says Super Bowl? Do they get sued?
Yeah.
You open yourself up to that,
Yeah.
I guess. So I'm like, I don't think they necessarily go after, indie podcasts with, 8,000 to 9,000 listener
Also
base.
a fucking absurd notion. You know what I mean? That's like when they tried to, I forget, someone tried to, buy the word, like, happy birthday or something. Like, it's a colloquial phrase. Like,
Yeah.
everyone says Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, the happy birthday thing was
It's a song.
The song was.
Didn't Disney try to buy the rights to Happy Birthday?
Someone owned the rights to Happy Birthday up until 3 years ago. And now if you want to, because for a long time, if you ever watch old sitcoms, they don't sing that fucking birthday song. If it's in, that's always a plot point. They don't sing that damn song because they have to pay for it. And then a couple of years ago, it went into public domain. So now you can sing the Happy
anyone can
Birthday
sing
song.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of birthdays coming up.
Yeah. I get on Facebook and I see the birthdays who's coming up, and it just wells inside me, and I have to eat it. I have to squelch it.
How could they fucking afford that?
Yeah.
Didn't Kim Kardashian recently try to, for her clothing line, she tried to trademark, what was it, kimono or something? Some Japanese term, and everyone's like, the fuck?
Kabuki or something.
Yeah. She was like, oh, God. Well, no, that's not what she sounds like. But,
Hey guys, it's Kim Kardashian.
Want to copyright one single word out of the dictionary.
But yeah, so that's always something weird is they're weird about people saying Super Bowl. I'm gonna give it a go here and just call it Super Bowl and see what happens.
Yeah, you can always go back in and edit it. And I'm just going to call it Big One.
The big game. Yeah. But I'm not going to be one of those dumbasses that call it Superb Owl. You ever hear that?
thank
Those
you.
No.
fucking dipshits.
What's that?
They're like, oh yeah, they got the Superb Owl coming up.
Man.
Yeah.
You need to whoop the shit out of whoever said. Which of your dumb
What about the
friends said that?
No, not my friends. Jack FM DJs. I'm coming for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
what about the Soup Bowl?
Yeah, the Soup Bowl.
But then
Ooh,
that just sounds like a bowl of soup.
I bet Campbell's probably has that shit locked down.
they
Yeah.
probably do. Fuck.
Own everything.
Can't
But-
say anything anymore.
Right.
The damn social justice warriors at Campbell's Soup trying to stop me from saying the Soup Bowl.
I'm trying to say more than that.
You're always bubbling over with more things than that.
It's okay if you say the Soup Bowl, but
Rivers.
oh,
It just got too real right there,
but like I said, the halftime show is always kind of a reflection of the larger culture and the larger media landscape too, right? So originally, for the first essentially 15 to 20 years of the game, the halftime show of the Super Bowl, does anybody know what it was?
No.
It was
Marching band?
college marching bands.
Wow.
It
I
was-
should play Jeopardy.
Yeah, it was always college marching bands. The one of the bands that played the most was the Grambling State University of Louisiana,
I hear they got a great band.
because they usually had the best college band. So it kind of became a big honor if you were in a college band to play the halftime show of the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. And then in the mid 1970s, they start incorporating colored placards. So they'll have everybody in the stands have a red and a yellow, and then certain people have to flip at certain times and stuff like that. So you can see a lot of
Man, I'd be fucking that up.
yeah. Well, you can even watch those old ones from the 70s. They're always interesting because the people on the field, they've got the colored placards down, but people in the stands cannot handle two colors. They're fucking it up left and right.
Yeah.
But all to the tune of the a lot of times, like I said, the Grambling State Marching Band. They played Super Bowl number 2. Super Bowl number 1 was the University of Arizona band.
The $1 Million Band get in there?
I'm sure they have. There's Florida A&M.
Were they doing that thing that bands do now? I guess I don't know what bands have been doing, but like they just like do band versions of pop hits.
Yeah,
like were
yeah.
they doing like Mr. Blue Sky?
Yeah, well,
Probably not.
They go up there and do Basket Case by Green Day.
yeah.
Nah, they were doing that really old school, annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Marching band music.
Yeah. Well, so for the first Super Bowl, fortunately, this is great. Wikipedia just has like a list. It's got the set list too. So the first Super Bowl, they're playing a tune called "The Liberty Bell."
All right. Yeah.
Of course, the first Super Bowl played here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum.
I knew that.
So that's back in 1967.
That was the first Super Bowl?
1967, yeah.
Pull up that, what's it called? The song?
Oh, the Liberty Bell?
Yeah, look that up right now. I want to hear it.
It's a march. Yeah, let's hear a little
It's a
sample
banger.
of the Liberty Bell.
This has to be public domain.
The year is 1967.
That's not even that old. Like that's
Yeah,
what's
this is like
crazy.
from the 20s.
Yeah, this
is-
literally sounds like, wow, we're showing Jerry a thing or two over there in Poland.
Let's hear it for our boys in blue.
As the Green Bay Packers take the field.
Young Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, so yeah, that's Super Bowl number 1, the Liberty Bell. That's the tune from Super Bowl number 1.
Classic pee break.
Yeah,
for everyone at the
yeah.
first
Talk about missing the Super Bowl halftime show
Yeah.
right there.
Now everyone pees during when Justin Bieber and Bono are doing a duet or some shit. Times have changed.
But yeah, that's the first Super Bowl, and like I said, through most of all the '60s and then most of the '70s, it kind of continues this thing. There are a couple of sort of pop tunes, but I mean pop in the 1940s sense of the pop, as in they did a tribute to Louis Armstrong in 1972.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, they did Mac the Knife and
Mac the Knife?
Oh, that's
you know
a good
that
ass
song, Mac the Knife. Oh, the shark has such teeth, yeah, and he
not know this
shows
song.
them
Well,
pearly
I just
whites.
listened to it last night.
Great song.
Really?
Mac
Yeah,
the Knife.
I have like a album on my phone. It's just like the best of Louis Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh.
one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
That's
Sorry,
that's
not everybody likes Power Man 5000.
yeah, no,
If they did a cover of it, I bet it'd be pretty cool.
Mac the Knife is that's a jazz standard there. But and then you get a couple University of Michigan marching bands. Here we go. They're back in Houston at Rice Stadium, and of course you got the University of Texas Longhorn Band.
That's where I went to
Yeah.
school.
Oh,
Rice.
UT?
No, Rice.
Oh, Rice. No shit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know we hosted a Super Bowl.
Yep. That's more Texas
What'd they
marching
play?
band. Huh? That one doesn't say actually. Let's see.
They were just riffing.
They were just riffing.
Jazz riff.
The jazzy riff on Cheap Sunglasses by ZZ Top.
Cheap sunglasses.
I usually only hear them play one song during their games.
Oh, okay. So
And it's just a variation of I've been working on the railroad.
wait, Texas does?
Yeah, that's their.
Oh yeah. I know the tuba part to that song. That's we played that song.
Were you in your school's band?
Not in college, but I
school.
was in a marching band in high school.
What did you play?
For 2 years? Tuba.
Tuba.
But I've said this on the show before. I was so bad at it. So the tuba doesn't actually march with a real tuba. They march with what's called a sousaphone, which is that big ass thing with the
okay.
huge bell, right? And that is
So is that bigger than a tuba?
it's a similar size, but you wear it. You know, it
Yeah.
wraps around. And it's right
It's
on your
got
shoulder.
a way funnier name.
It's got a way funnier name.
Sousaphone?
Yeah, name for John Philip Sousa, the
I was
composer.
going to say Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, yes, Dr. Seuss. yeah, you have to wear the damn thing, and it's heavy as hell, and it's obviously loud. So you can't suck at playing and marching, which I did. So I played our first show when I was in 9th grade. Was a little tribute to the work of Carlos Santana.
Ooh,
and
Smooth.
We opened. Dude, Smooth was the closer.
Oh, yeah,
so
that
we
makes
start
sense,
with Oya Como Va, and then we go into Black Magic Woman, and then we go into Smooth.
Wait, wasn't Oya Como Va the?
Yeah, that's a different
It's
band.
Tito Puente, but then Santana covered it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
what's it
Santana
called?
or Santana
Something Social Club. The
Buena Vista
Buena
Social
Vista.
Club? Yeah.
Oh, that was years later. Yeah, Oya Como Va is a Tito Puente song, and then
alright.
he kind of he does the sort of the more kind of cool version. Then Santana does the rock and roll version. The
Hell
bam,
yeah.
bam, 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 bam. It's in the Big Lebowski right after Walter beats the shit out of that guy's Corvette when they're riding to the In-N-Out Burger. That's the Santana version. Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch.
Yeah. I don't know why that suddenly popped in my head. I'm like, where's the most common place people would have heard Santana's version of Oya Como
I
Va?
see the dots getting connected there pretty logically.
Yeah, but it's when they're sitting there eating the burgers and just driving along. But yeah, and then of course that led into motherfucking Smooth.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I was allowed to hold a sousaphone. Even though I played tuba in the concert band, they were like, "This guy sucks so much at this."
He ruined Santana.
So they gave me the next time when we did our tribute to the Beatles, they gave me a dead saxophone. So a saxophone with no reed, and they had me marching with the saxophones. With
they
a
just needed a body.
They specifically wrote me out of the show and wrote me into the saxophone section where no one would notice that I was playing a dead instrument. And then the next show was the big showstopper was "Pretty Fly for a White Guy" by The Offspring. This was 2002, a full 4 years after that song was a hit.
Coincidentally, also a Tito Puente original.
I shit you not. For a New Year's Day parade, we did play Oya Como Va and "Pretty Fly for a White Guy" over and over. And that was the combo because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And for that one they gave me a dead clarinet.
Wow.
So no reed, just had to
Just
hold
a
it.
master of dead instrument.
Yeah.
You can play any dead instrument.
Well,
it
they
seems
gave
Give you
me
an unamplified electric guitar.
funny you mentioned, they gave me a live one. The next game, I forgot what the song selection was, but at that point they had moved me to the percussion section, which actually doesn't go on the field. The percussion section is the big
stands, yeah.
They're the big timpani drums, and they're on the sidelines. And they gave me what is commonly referred to as the fish, which is where you take a drumstick and then this kind of like wooden thing that's sort of shaped like a bowling pin or a fish that has ridges on it.
Okay.
And then you run the drumstick across the top of it. It goes rip, 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 rip. They gave me the fish, and you can imagine.
But you can hear clearly over an entire brass section.
Goddamn football stadium. The sound of my fish was deafening. Just standing on the sidelines. Rip, 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 rip. Yep. So, yeah.
As stated before, that the $1 Million Marching Band in Alabama would play Basket Case by Green Day all the time. That and Seven Nation Army, those are like the two songs they only played.
Yeah, Seven Nation Army is such a popular.
Oh, yeah.
That one's become like a soccer chant.
Yeah.
It's starting to move its way into like definitely into wrestling. You hear it a lot now.
It's arena ready.
Yeah.
I remember the first game I went to. They were playing Basket Case. The band was playing Basket Case, and my brother leaned over and went, "This is your favorite part of the whole fucking game."
Was Francis incorrect?
Francis was not wrong. It made me laugh. It was like like I came to watch a marching band play Basket Case by Green Day. Dude, fuck you. You don't even like football. This is your favorite part. It is.
Shut up, Frank. They're gonna play Real Big Fish.
They're going to play American Idiot. It's going to be real controversial.
I can't afford Green Day concert tickets, man. Just let me have this.
Just let me have this. Let me have this 30 seconds of them playing Basket Case.
Yeah, I've told this on the show before, but it's highly on topic. My lowest moment as part of the marching band was the next year where they trusted me with the tuba again, which was a bad idea because I was back to the the fish by the end of the
Maybe
year.
he's learned something over the summer.
Not a goddamn
Maybe
thing.
he had a good off season.
So we went to play Booker T. Washington High School in Tuskegee, and if you know anything about historically black high schools and colleges, their marching bands are fucking amazing.
I've seen Drumline.
Right,
Sure.
bingo. So you can imagine, like, the marching band in Tuskegee has won every award ever. Their whole thing was their band director would find whatever, like, the number 1 or number 2 song on the radio was, write the music and
Like a virgin.
teach it to the fucking band. Yeah, well, this was but it was so cool because whoever they were playing, we would come out, like, play it like, oh, here's our tribute to the 80s, and we're playing like Tainted Love or some bullshit. And then Tuskegee comes out on the field playing literally whatever the number 1 song on the radio was.
Skater Boy.
And in this case, well, no. In this case, it was Air Force Ones by Nelly. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, this is fucking amazing. And, like, our band was, like, more of like a military style band. So anything we played, even if it was something kind of cool, it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, just like very straightforward, 4/4 time and boring. These motherfuckers were, like, incredible. And then that was the game that my band director decided to bust out a full, again, 4 years after this song was a thing, the thong song.
I was just about to guess the thong song.
The thong song. So, yeah, well, the tuba part is bum 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 bum. And and we played a very military style version of the thong song in 4/4 time. After
Fighter jets flying over you.
And then they went up and played Air Force Ones by Nelly, which was the number 1 song in America at the time. We were just like, I felt like such a fucking chump, and it wasn't even my band. I didn't even care about band, and I was like, I fucking just shroud my face with with a fucking cloth. I want no one to see me in this moment.
It's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame.
It's a nice punctuation exclamation point on how much you fucking suck.
True. Is that like a judgment demon? It's a nice point on your fucking useless existence. He slipped back into nightmares.
about tubas. I mean, he's a pretty good guy otherwise. But the tuba thing.
Yeah.
No bueno. So in 1975, you get the tribute to Duke Ellington. So again, we're still kind of marching band territory.
75?
75. 76 is where we get our first change in the thing, and that is when they turn the production of the whole thing over to a group called Up With People.
We have an exciting halftime extravaganza in store for you this afternoon. The National Football League is pleased to present Up With People. Up With People is an extraordinary educational and cultural program for young people all around the world. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Up With People!
Is this like Team Impact where they break a phone book and they're like, Christ has made me strong?
God, that would be amazing. God, if Team Impact played the Super Bowl, just some guy in a fucking American flag Zubas just being like, I'm going to rip 3 phone books in the name of Christ.
I used to smoke crack.
Now I'm freebasing. Jesus. Yeah. And they break a board.
Yeah, they Howard Dean their way through a board.
Now that would be incredible. Up With People, it was it's more like a lot of placards again, colored placards, a lot of coordinated sort of dancing and stuff like that, and a real positive message for 1975. 76 is
Country
when
needed it then.
the country definitely needed it.
Healing.
76 is the bicentennial, and the theme of the Super
That's
Bowl.
when they should have played Liberty Bell.
Right?
So the
Timing's
theme,
all off with these bands.
this
idiot.
is Super Bowl 10, and the theme is 200 years and just a baby.
Creepy. A 200-year-old baby.
Who had literally just left Vietnam a year earlier.
milk.
Baby want Saigon.
His grubby little veiny hand. Baby want war. This got political.
I know
Edit this out.
Edit this out.
that's a damn T-shirt. Baby want war.
Baby, yeah. Him want war.
Baby want war. But yeah, and that was also Up With People.
And they didn't even play a song.
No, it's a whole program.
It's a one-act play.
Yeah, it's
I know we're having fun. Break it down in the middle of the game.
Now the baby represents America. Yeah, we got that.
So, America's a baby. You understand it because in the relation to all the other countries, like everyone's taking a bathroom. Like the lines are forming like around the stadium to go to the bathroom during this.
Up with people. This is their theme song, Up With People.
I'm glad the audio's not that good.
Oh, here you go. Now there's the dance. The dancing is really something else. They got the bell bottoms.
Yeah.
Yep, they got the mini skirts.
And this is the
Are they doing
first.
the Carlton there?
They kind of are, yeah.
The Carlton turns out is the Up With People dance.
See somebody flossing.
Yeah. So.
And this is the first like non-marching band Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, so they've got a marching band, but now they've got singers. They've got Up With People, providing some vocals, to the whole thing.
As I recall, she said people from 40 states.
Yes, yeah,
They
that's
couldn't
right.
even get all 50.
Yeah, yeah. Indiana was being a bunch of assholes.
10 states that aren't up with people. Alabama.
Let's name them.
Yeah,
Alabama,
the entire Southeast.
South Carolina, North
It's written in
Carolina.
our Constitution that we are not up with people.
Down with people. No, it's just super cool states. They're like, dude, we're not up with people. We're down with people.
Yeah. Oh man, that is cool.
It's cool how they were racist.
So the next year, another turning point, 1977, and this is when they finally turn over the production of the Super Bowl halftime show to some goddamn professionals as the part of the Walt Disney Company takes over the Super
Just some
Bowl
young
halftime.
upstarts just trying to get their footing in the world.
Dude, and Disney
Just looking for
continues,
some IP, man. Just trying to buy some IP.
Absolutely.
and they continue to be a pretty constant part of the Super Bowl,
As they've
overseeing-
become a pretty constant part of all of our lives.
Yeah, exactly. And their first one is everybody's favorite Disney song,
Fantasia.
It's a Small World, the most annoying song in the world. Yeah, the entire halftime show in 1977 is just people singing that goddamn song.
It really is a small world when we share peace, joy, and love together.
Don't fucking do that to the people listening to this podcast.
But yeah, we close out the 70s with From Paris to Paris of America. Which
Otherwise known as Cleveland.
yeah. And again, that one, they keep getting Al Hurt, jazz musician Al Hurt, to oversee all of the New Orleans-based ones, which is kind of interesting. And we close out the 70s in Miami with various Caribbean bands from the Dominican Republic and someone named Ken Hamilton. And that's sponsored by Carnival Cruise Lines.
Makes sense.
So now we're seeing, like, at the very end of the 70s, you get a corporate influence kind of creeping in. Now these become sponsored shows. And that's...
With a theme.
They've all got a theme, and now they've got a sponsor.
Yeah, you got to tie in a brand.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're in the 80s, and this is when you've got more Up With People / Disney era where they're kind of just trading off back to back. The most interesting kind of stuff here. You've got the World of Children's Dreams is a theme in 1985.
The World of Children's Nightmares was the next year.
The World of Children's Dreams one is particularly upsetting, and it does include a man with a jetpack. Which is cool.
They had jetpacks back then?
Yeah, they did.
You can trust me.
Oh, that kid's full of dream.
Oh, yeah. Wonder what that guy's doing now.
Today, the United States Air Force, in a halftime spectacular.
Now it's brought to you by the Air Force.
That's Mitch McConnell.
The past and the future in the world of children's dreams.
It's
also Disney.
Yeah, I believe so.
The world of children's dreams. Storybook.
Let's see. Oh no, the Air Force produced this. Yeah, this is Air Force Entertainment.
AFE.
No wonder they have a jetpack.
Yeah.
Some Area 51 shit.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like they're banking on all that all kids have that flying dream, and that means join the Air Force.
There's a bunch of children sitting on a giant book for some reason.
The song rules.
There's clowns. One of them just dropped their wig. This is fucking horrifying.
This is nightmare.
What do children's dreams have to do with clowns?
I don't know. There's a giant.
Those Zambonis?
That's a bulldozer, like the one the U.S.
That's
Army
a train.
used, like the one the U.S. Army used to punch a hole in the Waco compound a few years later, and throw in flares to burn down David Koresh. Yeah. So it's a lot of this. Like it's
a fevered child's brain is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, and that is all going to culminate in just a moment here with what is widely considered to be the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever, or at least in this previous era, which would be Super Bowl 1991.
Who's the teams?
So
not that it matters.
Not that it matters. This is Super Bowl 25, so the 25th anniversary. The Buffalo Bills are going to be taking on the New York Giants.
Giants took it, didn't they?
The Giants,
New York boys.
Giants took it by 1 point.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Here. Yeah. So that's
Buffalo
You should
couldn't
have put
win
money
it.
on that.
I was about to, man.
I'm sure they had OJ down at the sidelines giving commentary on the Bills and shit. But on the field at halftime for this one. So this is really when you get kind of the the first kind of superstars as far as pop stars go in the form of the New Kids on the Block.
Oh shit.
NKOTB takes the field, but again, this whole thing is produced by Disney, and the theme, once again, is It's a Small World, a tribute to 25 years of the Super Bowl.
God damn it! You're about to make us hear that song, aren't you?
Well, I'm gonna spare you that song in favor of instead. We're going to
Go to like one of them playing their hits or something.
No, we're gonna make fun of a child.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna make fun of this little kid.
Down, always down.
Did you ever know?
So
Everything I would like to be.
So, Carter, describe this child's haircut, please.
He's just a pumpkin pie haircut, a little freak. He's got a bowl cut.
That's like a chili bowl.
Yeah.
He looks like Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Why does he have roots? Like, did he bleach? Like,
Oh,
yeah.
color his hair?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And now they're showing
He's like-
soldiers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's like some guy like carrying his arm.
well, so very crucially, during this Super Bowl in 1991, the most well-remembered thing about this Super Bowl, outside of the game, would be how the Super Bowl started that year, which is with the very famous rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by Whitney Houston. So, if you've ever seen, she's wearing a tremendous starter jacket, red, white, and blue, and sings, a rendition of that song good enough to justify its existence. Like, that's a bad song. It's hard to sing. And then if you sing the second verse, it rhymes slave with grave. It's not a good song. But her singing that damn song is impressive. And it was...
She's great.
But also, it's also in the context...
She's great.
She did it. But it's in the context of the Gulf War, which had just started at this point. So most of this halftime show was not even seen because they broke away to cut to Iraq where there was a war going on. So
I think they broke away because that kid started pissing his pants. And they you got to cut to the harrowing war footage.
Yeah. So that's why we've got after Whitney Houston, I mean, truly blows this kid out of the water. This kid just put to shame by
do you think like afterwards Whitney Houston went up to this kid and was like, top that, you little shit?
Yeah, beat that.
She did that thing like when a comic bombs. They're like, I liked it.
Yeah, good set, man. Good set.
Yeah.
Listen.
You just bring a unique energy to it,
Without you.
Ladies
and gentlemen.
Yeah, they
Ladies
cut
and
him
gentlemen,
off.
we apologize for the child.
Like, dude, literally.
Everyone boo the child.
You're Disney. You have how many? The fucking Mickey Mouse Club is on the air. You have access to Justin Timberlake in this moment who can sing. Fucking, you have JC Chazé. You've got Britney Spears. You've got Christina. There's a million
Thank
children.
you for pronouncing it correctly, by the way.
There's
It is
a
Chazé.
91.
There's a million kids that are underneath the Disney umbrella that could sing this goddamn song.
Wonderful game.
George and Laura
What
Bush.
a pleasure it is to say hello to all the young people on the field tonight.
You old bitch.
Looking at you, it's easy to see why America can count on a bright and hopeful future.
Well, that's right.
Listen to the pop here for NKOTB, because at this point, we've just had Disney bullshit, fucking George Bush. Like, this show's a fucking nightmare. And at the last second...
Did they broadcast Bush into the stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's all part of the show. Disney has produced this, and Disney produced this whole war, basically, in this moment. Listen to this fucking pop. That is a Stone Cold Steve Austin pop.
No, that's like Beatles pop.
That's a fucking Broken Glass in '99. Stone Cold coming down to help Mick Foley win the damn title.
Did people know they were coming out, or is this a shock?
I mean, I'm sure it was announced, but goddamn, people were so hungry for it.
Yeah, that's probably the thing too. Is people are like, how much more do I have to listen to this fucking idiot kid sing before the new kids come out?
Fucking Mickey is out there, and now we've got the new kids on the block.
Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rooney, actually.
Mickey Rooney, yeah.
Wow.
Why is whole Super Bowl stupid? I used to be a star.
His character in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
But yeah, so NKOTB comes out there. One little detail I did read about this that made me, I didn't know that there was much left to respect about Donnie Wahlberg, but this comes out. They got a bit of criticism because it seemed to be in the middle.
This
of
seems like Donnie Wahlberg has hurt you over the last couple of years.
Well, he married an anti-vaxxer, so fuck
Oh
him.
boy!
Yeah. But this is sort of the middle of a jingoistic orgasm. They sort of appear in the middle of this. Got a little bit of criticism for it. So in response, 2 weeks after this, at the American Music Awards, Donnie Wahlberg wore a shirt that says "War sucks." So,
Yeah.
that actually rules.
Donnie Wahlberg, you're
Hell
fucking
yeah.
cool.
All right.
As of 1991, you were cool in my book. And then Joey McIntyre's, he's got his damn Michael Jackson curl hanging down on the front of his face. And
Who's the other guy who had a solo career? Jordan Knight.
Jordan Knight, Jordan Knight, and
Brian.
Joey McIntyre. We're the two that had the weird late '90s resurgences.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna bring it back. How much hell do you think that kid caught at school? Is that a get made fun of forever type of thing?
No, I think that's like go back to your school where no one has done anything like that, and he has like some weird shitty attitude about it for like a couple of grades, and everyone's like, you know what? Austin actually sucks. People talk about him in the murmurs and in the shadows, but I think he had a shitty attitude about it. I can tell from his haircut, and I can tell from his stance while he was singing it that he was proud of what he was doing.
Think you're better than us just because you're the mascot of a war?
So in 1992, it's a tribute to the Winter Olympics. And so it becomes they've got Brian Boitano out there.
Nagano? What?
Huh?
Where were the Winter Olympics that year?
Let's see. In that year, the 1992 Winter Olympics were in France.
France.
Yeah, Albertville, France. I guess they kind of sponsor the whole thing. So yeah, they've got Gloria Estefan and the University of Minnesota Marching Band Machine, along with figure skaters Brian Boitano and Dorothy Hamilton, and members of the 1980 Miracle on Ice U.S. hockey team.
Wow.
And
Did they bring out an ice rink?
Let's see. So during the halftime, rival networks.
Because I don't think any of those guys can sing.
I know. I think they were just out there. So this is very crucial.
So I have Gloria Estefan in the mix.
This is the last year that the Super Bowl halftime show is fucking around, because during this halftime show they get the first very serious counter programming, which is a special live episode of In Living Color.
Whoa.
What? With like Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans and everything?
During this is 92. This is like
Oh yeah, I guess
this is
okay.
the middle of that show being huge. So Fox aired a live special episode of In Living Color.
Man, this was back when Fox was making moves, just trying to gain viewership. They,
Dude.
they were fearless. They had nothing to lose.
Listen to this
Had The
shit.
Simpsons, I think, at this time.
Yeah, and,
yeah.
Married with Children. They're
92.
like, fuck everyone.
That's the height of Fox's powers. I mean, really, and you have to think like what the Super Bowl is bringing to the table here. God bless Gloria Estefan, she's great, but you cannot compete with fucking Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey. You know, J-Lo's a fucking fly girl. Like it's great.
Keenan Ivory Wayans,
Keenan
anybody?
Ivory, all the Wayans.
Kim Wayans.
Get this shit. They managed to draw away 22 million viewers from the
Whoa.
Super Bowl during the halftime show.
Because of the In Living Color thing?
So they were literally like, hey, we're going to have a halftime show. It's going to be exactly as long as the halftime show. If you want to flip over, please
I think
do.
I remember that, actually. I think I remember, like, we would watch as a family, and as a kid, I remember my brothers, like, changing the channel.
Yeah, well, that became a very...
Because it was, like, a real hype thing, too.
Yeah. Well, it later became a popular thing to, have a halftime something to counter-program it, but it was all based on the success of this. So 22 million people switched off the Super Bowl to tune into In Living Color, which...
Damn.
Cool for comedy. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so...
Way to go, Fox. Way to be a... What do they call them? What do they call tech startups these days? A disruptor?
Yeah, disruptor. Yeah, exactly.
Disrupt.
But yeah, so that is the last time, like I said, that they're fucking around. So 1993, they bring in
In Living Color.
The band Living Color. Like they misinterpreted it. They do Cult of Personality and everyone's like, oh, okay.
They just do it 3 times.
Yeah.
No,
The guy was in Platoon.
They bring in
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
So the 1993 Super Bowl it's fucking wild. It's at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and you watch it, and Michael Jackson. This is the exact year that he gets arrested the first time for diddling kids, but not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
That happens later in 93, but this is...
It sounds so whimsical when you say kid diddling.
Just diddling. Just diddling.
Just diddle doodle faddling around,
Yeah.
Back in the studio diddling.
But the show starts with a goddamn magic trick.
Michael Jackson's pants disappear. That's like a fucking monologue joke.
Classic Predator trick.
Yeah.
Opens with magic. The next thing is handing out candy.
There's a van somewhere in there,
They start with the opening chords of Beat It. Yeah.
Oh, dun 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 dun. Not
that shit before it goes. They start with that, and everybody goes ape shit, and then they cut to the scoreboard, and Michael Jackson flies up through the top of the scoreboard and lands, and then does a pose, and everybody goes ape shit.
Yeah.
Is that
then,
a pop?
And then that's a pop. It's a legit pop, but not.
He was the king of pop.
Yeah, he was. All right, it's over. But he commences to then explode into smoke at the top of the scoreboard, and then appear on the stage in the middle of the field where he also shoots up. So that was a fake. It was a fake Jacko. Fake Jacko at the top.
Are you gonna play it for us?
Oh, we are gonna play it because you gotta hear this.
He's not fucking around with pyrotechnics.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There he is.
He knows better.
Bring the children.
Now,
Let the children come to him.
Bajillion children flood the field.
Pied Piper.
Now
You can tell he has an erection.
I mean,
They start handing out like Dixie cups of wine to the kids.
go ahead, drink it. Drink the Jesus juice.
Have your juice.
Hey, drink this sleepy time tea.
Just get relaxed, get comfortable.
This motherfucker stands like this.
He doesn't even have to sing.
He stands like this
This is
for
the
a
halftime
full 2 minutes, just soaking it in. It's
This was the era that did anyone have Dangerous, the tape? I had it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
It
this,
had like black or white on it.
oh yeah, yeah.
That was
So-
like the Michael Jackson I was familiar with when I was a
well,
kid.
so what? What's crazy is this is 93.
So this is like right after Bad or something?
Yeah, well, more importantly, this is after Nevermind. Nevermind
Right.
famously toppled Dangerous from the charts, and that scene is like this sea change in pop music and stuff like that. But you wouldn't know it by watching this shit.
No.
Yeah.
People are
he just turned,
losing
he moved.
their fucking mind. He has, it's crazy to watch. He's got a bandolier of shiny bullets. I mean, It's wild. I mean, we are now
When you think like Hollywood Boulevard Michael Jackson impersonator, it's this look.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's this look. And then of course start the song there. But yeah, so
you're gonna cut off the song? You just made us listen to clapping for 2 minutes.
Watch him standing still.
well, it's Billie Jean, so he
the mannequin challenge.
Fucking blue ball us like that.
he does Billie Jean, he does Black or White, and then he has all of the children come out and do We Are the World and Heal the World. So that's 1993, and at this point we're kind of off to the races. So I'll just run through these. 94, Rockin' Country Sunday, featuring Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, and the Judds.
Classic.
Wow.
And that was for the Atlanta Georgia Dome Super Bowl that year.
You got to give some up to the right wing. Have a right wing Super Bowl halftime show.
The next year, 1995, this is really strange. This one is to promote the new Indiana Jones stunt show that was opening at Walt Disney World.
I remember vaguely hearing about this.
And this is fucking bizarre because it's basically Indiana Jones, the halftime show, and it's got Patti LaBelle in it.
Is this...
Oh shit! It looks like garbage, but in the best way possible.
There's a man in a Cobra outfit playing the timpani.
Is this during the time of Young Indiana Jones, the show, with the guy from Boondocks?
No, this is 5 years after the last Indiana Jones movie. I don't. Maybe that show
Might
was
have
on.
been, yeah.
But this is for no reason. This is an Indiana Jones themed Super Bowl, and the man has the Vince Lombardi trophy.
I guess, did Harrison Ford grumble and collect a check for this?
Fuck no, he didn't. Harrison Ford wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. They got an indie impersonator. Oh yeah, Patti LaBelle's great. If anything sells it, it's because Patti LaBelle is so awesome. But so this is fun.
Yeah.
But it's still crazy. And the next thing you see is Indiana Jones and Marion parachute into the stadium for some reason, which is really fucking wild. And then they have to fight this guy to get the Vince Lombardi trophy back from him. This is like as abstract and crazy as it got.
Yeah.
You know, at least in this era.
By the way, real quick,
yeah.
when you said Young Indiana Jones, I had completely forgotten about that show, and then it reminded me of Young Hercules, and I was like, oh, shit. And then I realized, now we have Young Sheldon.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
The circle is complete.
Yeah.
There is the fake Indiana Jones running out onto the field after parachuting in with Marion Ravenwood. The whole thing is very, very strange.
Behind me.
Yeah, this is like some fucking shitty show you'd see at Six Flags or something.
No, it's literally what it is. It was promoting the Indiana Jones stunt show at Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Randy, look out!
Was that the little Asian kid?
No, that's Marion from the first one.
Oh, right.
They're kind of mixing Raiders and Temple of Doom here.
Snake.
I hate these snakes. It's literally an Indiana Jones stunt show, like in the middle of the goddamn
that guy's
Super
on
Bowl.
fire.
Yeah, man caught on fire.
At this point, some dad spilled an entire beer on his shirt. He's like, God damn it!
And then he goes and shoots two people.
Yeah, there's violence erupting in the parking lot.
So I wanted to highlight that one because that one's very
It's pretty
strange.
bonkers. Yeah,
It's pretty wild. The next year, the sponsor is Oscar Mayer, and they got Diana Ross.
Ooh. Okay.
And
singing the Wiener song.
Yeah. No, the Diana Ross one. This one's pretty cool. She does stop.
Wiener love, my wiener love.
And after doing Take Me Higher, she exits the stadium via helicopter.
Creed's Can You Take Me Higher?
We're going to get pretty close to that in just a minute. But yeah, she leaves via helicopter. She grabs a rope ladder like the Joker and flies away.
That's awesome.
So that rules. The next year, this one is just beyond embarrassing. It's in New Orleans once again, and it is time for the Blues Brothers Bash.
Oh yeah.
So this is
with Jim Belushi.
This is 1997 Blues Brothers. So it's John Goodman, Dan Aykroyd, of course, and Jim Belushi, who, because he's a fucking asshole, won't shave his stupid goatee, so he just sort of looks like his brother. He's got a fucking goatee.
Oh boy.
I'm a real blues musician, man.
Yeah, and he's referred to as Brother Z in it.
Ugh.
And the show starts with a Fox News alert, which is so weird because Fox has not changed the sound of that news alert since 1997. So it's like,
We interrupt this program for a Fox News Channel special report. Here's Catherine Cryer in New York.
We have just received a report that bluesman Elwood Blues has escaped from the Illinois State Penitentiary in Joliet, Illinois. Authorities think he may be traveling with two accomplices, Brother Z and Mighty Mac. An undisclosed source says that these men are on a mission from God and headed to the Mecca of Rhythm and Blues, New Orleans. All in the area, please beware. Now back to our regular programming.
Welcome to Super Bowl 31, Blues Brothers Bash!
And this has to do with the release of Blues Brothers 2000,
you're
right?
goddamn right it does.
Does Joe Morton make an appearance?
I don't think so. This
No.
is so the performers are the Blues Brothers, who I just mentioned, ZZ Top, and
Johnny Lang, perhaps?
and, and James Brown. So
What?
Yeah, and so well, James Brown.
He's in Blues Brothers 2000?
This
in
is when
both
he
Blues
was on
Brothers, yeah.
Goofballs, right?
I'm high for God. But
Hi, oh God.
I'm high for God. The best part of this is James Brown. He does I Feel Good, so that's
Sure.
cool. ZZ Top does Tush and Legs, and then everybody together does Give Me Some Lovin' at the end there. So it's the Blues Brothers Bash in 1997. 1998. This one's cool. This is like a Motown 40th anniversary thing. So you got Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, Queen Latifah, and of course, making their return, the Grambling State University Marching Band, who did the previous tribute to Motown back in the 70s when they did it the first time. But yeah,
sounds pretty good.
That one's decent. I watched it. It's if you like Motown, you'll like that one. 1999. This is
Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock.
Dude, it should have been what they could have done, but instead it's slightly weirder. It was
boy bands and shit, right?
Not yet. Celebration of soul, salsa, and swing. It is Gloria Estefan, Stevie Wonder, and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Oh wow, that's huge for them.
Yeah. And that,
what happened to them? They're playing.
I mean,
had a lot of visibility.
It turns out that new swing revival in the late 90s was to be short-lived.
Yeah. Well, and they did it in 99, which is like the year after that happened. So they're a little bit short on the uptake there. 99, if they're going to do anything, that would have been the year to do Ricky Martin. Like, what are you doing? Why are you fucking around? Get J-Lo, Ricky Martin.
Yeah, J-Lo, Ricky Martin,
Enrique
Mark
Iglesias.
Anthony.
Yeah, if you're going to have something that's high energy and fun, this is the beginning of the fucking, the whole Latin explosion, as they called it. So that's what makes sense to me. Let me book the fucking Super Bowl. So now we're in 2000, and this one is also pretty high up there on most people's list of the worst. It is Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, again a year too short.
I saw this
a
one.
year too late. Tony Braxton, an 80-person choir. Edward James Olmos is the narrator, and Phil fucking Collins promoting Tarzan.
I vaguely remember this one. I remember being like, Tony who? Not to shit on Tony Braxton.
Yeah. The next year, 2001, George Bush has been inaugurated the president 8 days earlier.
Oh, right.
And so...
Is this post 9/11?
No, it's January
the year
of 2001.
of our
So,
Lord,
yeah.
9/11.
Yeah, so... yeah, we're still 9 months out from the big day.
We were all so innocent then.
Yeah. This is one that I basically know exclusively through the reference of the Lewis Black bit.
So who did MTV get to play at halftime? They got In Sync. Because when I think football, I think In Sync. Unlike most Americans, I'd never heard In Sync. because usually when they come on, I like to take a pencil and shove it in my ear.
It's Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly.
I think I remember that one.
Ooh,
Yeah, I remember
Nelly.
that one.
Yeah, and this is the one. This is the one that I really remember, just specifically for the lineup. This was when I really started like paying attention to it because it became a big thing.
I remember distinctly feeling like fuck Aerosmith like during this. Like I've kind of haven't shaken that ever since.
This killed it for you.
Was this during the Bruce Willis asteroid movie?
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hot off that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was like late 90s, so this is a few years after that.
Armageddon's 97. This is 2001.
This is during Just Press Play.
Yeah, I was about to say, this
VH1 years.
Jaded.
Jade? Hey, Jaded. I look like a witch from a ballgame. Like, God, I fucking hate Steven Tyler.
And then, but it is that just push play. You gotta do it anyway. That era.
Yeah, Target was pushing their CDs, and they're on VH1 all the time.
We're post Armageddon, pre honking on Bobo.
The best name for a blues cover album, Honkin' on Bobo. Yeah, that was my friend's dad had a lot of fun with that one. You boys upstairs honking on Bobo. He was a crass man.
Oh Jesus, yeah. So this one we get a little
Rockin' hardcore. Now go.
we get a little Ben Stiller at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Basically recurring his character from Heavyweights, I think.
Yeah. Pre-dodgeball.
And dodgeball.
Yeah.
Same character.
Yep. Of course, NSYNC making their way to the field by running onto the field, which sort of fucks with the verisimilitude of them having to sing and dance at the same time. Where
Wait,
it's like,
did they have a helicopter sound effect
heard
as
that.
they were running?
I heard that.
oh yeah. So here's the old NSYNC doing the old bye bye bye. I might fast forward this a little bit just to get to the
Could you fast forward a lot a bit?
well, just to get to the Steven Tyler appearance, because Steven Tyler is looking particularly insane in this one. They're playing Jaded. Damn, new single.
I definitely remember this.
And just so you guys know, there was no pop on that. a lot of groan.
You could collectively hear the benches creak as everyone got up to go get a snack or something.
Yeah, and if I ain't mistaken, Nelly comes out and they end by doing "Walk This Way."
Oh right, yeah, because he was the new Run DMC at the time,
it makes
right?
sense. Yes, everybody remembers when Nelly was Run DMC.
Go to that part. I gotta see that because his style is so not Run DMC.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the.
Could you full screen me on this?
Ooh, wrote a new rap.
No, he's just doing what's it called? Country grammar.
Wait, is he wearing a jersey that represents both teams?
Yeah, Nelly is both sides in it here.
Wow.
Justin having fun, I gotta say. Always having a good time. And also Britney Spears is just up there. She's a part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did she perform in it?
Oh yeah. She's earlier.
Okay.
It's like it's a big medley. So that year the set list.
Jesus.
The set list was.
That makes me feel old. How about you guys? Does that make you feel old watching that, or
I feel like I'm young again.
you feel young again?
Never felt more alive.
Yeah. I think they just let Britney do a verse on "Walk This Way." She didn't get her own song that year. It's "Bye Bye Bye, Don't Want to Miss a Thing." It's gonna be me, Jaded, and "Walk This Way." So that one's fun.
It's gonna be me.
The next year is post 9/11, and
Somber? Is it a little bit more somber?
I fucking hate this so much. It's U2. It's goddamn U2, and the whole time Bono is standing on a stage made out of an LED screen, and it's just a big flapping fucking American flag, and it's dog shit.
He's not American.
So have the most American band there is.
Yeah. So
Ireland's you too.
The next year,
Bring in the edge.
I want to see a sea of hands.
Yeah, yeah. And the theme that year was 9/11. In case you were wondering.
Everybody needed a reminder.
The theme in 2001, by the way, was called "The Kings of Rock and Pop." It's conspicuous in his absence.
Yeah.
Goddamn Michael Jackson. So
I wonder why.
That was like when Invincible was out, right? The one that no one listened to.
Oh yeah,
there were a couple bangers on that.
Were there?
Wasn't it the one with the music video with Chris Tucker?
You Rock My World.
Yeah.
You
Rock My World.
That was right around the time he was flying on Epstein's plane. Actually, Chris Tucker.
What does he want with little girls?
What doesn't he?
They're friends with little boys, of course.
They'll never touch a black man's radio.
Yeah, especially when they're trying to change the radio to the Disney Channel. 2003, again, the Iraq War is on, or it's about to be on, so we're like 2 months out from that. And it's Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting.
I remember this.
So they do Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Up, and then No Doubt comes out and does Just a Girl, and then Sting comes out and does Message in a Bottle.
With No Doubt.
With No Doubt.
I remember that being like kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that song.
No
Message
Doubt.
in a Bottle's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And With No Doubt.
Hello.
Hey, they're both white people doing reggae. Yeah, sure. Now we're in what they call the flying too close to the sun era, and this is probably, I would venture to say, the most famous Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
Yeah.
And that would be 2004, and people only remember this for the nipple gate.
Nipplegate.
The nipple situation. But I think people who only remember the nipple moment are really missing just how fucking terrible this lineup is. Jessica Simpson, P. Diddy, Nelly's back for some reason.
Because he rules.
Yeah, because he rules. Obviously, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake and Kid Rock.
Oh my god!
But I'm looking at this list, they're doing the most popular songs of the time. Of the rap songs.
Of the rap songs, sure.
And Kid Rock's About the Ba and Cowboy. Mo Money, Mo Problems. Hot in Here.
Yeah.
Diddy to the tune of Mickey. Oh boy, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
Bad Boy for Life.
D-I-D-D-Y, 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 and Diddy was his name.
No, not that one. It's, oh, Diddy, you're so fine. You're so fine. You're so fine. I hate Diddy.
Yeah.
Did Kid Rock hand the mic to the crowd and paint his wife white? Oh. That got that joke years later. Oh, he's talking about coming all over his wife.
I heard that song recently, and
Cowboy?
it was pretty. I don't know. It's funny sounding. It's not terrible, but at the same time, you're like, "How is this such a big hit?"
Oh, and this is, by the way, is brought to you by AOL Top Speed Dial-Up Internet.
Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to hear.
Wait, is this when he and J-Lo were dating?
I think so.
Chopping it up.
Remix. Okay, and then
Was that
Nelly?
all Diddy
that's
did?
Nelly.
Nelly came out in like
hiding
a
her.
Jeep.
Yeah. Nelly's got a cool golf cart, customized golf cart. Now they're gonna do Hot in Here.
Good gracious, ass is bodacious.
That, of course,
Leads
culminates
to the nipple.
into Rock Your Body, where
Gonna
Janet
have you
Jackson,
naked
yeah,
by the end of this song.
and that's the end of the, not just the song. That's the end of
the
that's
show,
it.
yeah.
Like, and then it pans away immediately. Produced by MTV, and then you get the blimp shot.
Yeah.
So they meant to leave you with just a strange image.
Yeah, because don't they have like when they're live? Don't they have a second where they can edit like a couple seconds leeway where they could cut it off?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So they didn't do that.
Yeah, it's truly strange to watch. Even now, it's truly strange to watch.
Oh, they cut
Choose to be independent.
I mean, yeah, choose to vote. Choose to be independent. It is undeniably a weird moment. because
Butt naked by the end of this.
I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this song, and then there's this little silent part before the little firework goes off.
By the end of this song.
The sound of the firework is so anti. It's like it's so anticlimactic, and everyone
titty just got pulled out. What's more climactic?
Yeah,
than that?
everyone looks confused. Like Janet Jackson's looking down at her own tit and being like, "Why is
Do we call the police? Do we? How old do
My wardrobe has malfunctioned.
That is the genesis of that phrase. That's where that comes from.
Wow.
That is where that was first used, and it's clearly not a wardrobe malfunction because she's got a giant sun-shaped metal, what they call on here, what I would describe as a pasty, but what they call on here a nipple shield, which I guess is its utilitarian function.
Yeah.
The whole thing was pre-planned. It had to have been.
For sure.
Anybody saying otherwise.
Her reaction seemed to,
This is what I wanted. Every time I do it, big problems.
Do you remember people's like reaction in school, like parents being like, "Well, I never!" Like it was the worst thing that had ever happened.
I just heard from the other room. They just showed her tit. My dad just yelled that.
Yeah, just everybody. Yeah, so everybody was watching this, so that's they showed her tit.
I had given up on the Super Bowl halftime show. Was not watching it. Heard about it later.
Yeah, were you watching it live at the time?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember what my reaction was. I don't know. It was just stunned silence, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, huh? They could do that?
And it turns out they could not.
They could not. Because the next year they played it safe and went like Aerosmith again. I think,
safer than that, my friend. And for the next several years,
the Carpenters,
Gregorian chants.
Gregorian chants. Yeah. They bring out the Mormon Tabernacle Choir to sing songs about Jesus. No, they for the next few years. That marked this pivot where they basically.
It was the Beatles. It was Paul McCartney.
Yeah. It marked this pivot where they basically took they took the production away from MTV. They were like, bad MTV, no, and then it just became they would get veteran rock acts. So
so many turning points in the Super Bowl.
It really is like it changes with media, and then you're also talking about right after Bush wins. You're talking about an era of cultural conservatism, so it's like, okay, well, let's you can't have hot people having their clothes ripped off on television. And I say this as a fan of the Beatles and a fan of Paul, but let's get the safest goddamn thing on the world, which is a guy sing Beatles songs. So the next year, 2005, Paul McCartney sings "Drive My Car," "Get Back," "Live and Let Die," and "Hey Jude." The next year after that, the Rolling Stones, which while dangerous in their day, in 2006,
second wave of British invasion.
In 2006, and what's funny is they do a terrible song from their pretty mediocre album, A Bigger Bang, called Rough Justice. So they start with "Start Me Up," "Rough Justice," and "Satisfaction." That's the lineup there. The next year, this is probably what most people would consider maybe the best non-ensemble performance, hands down, no question, but definitely the best of this era, which is Prince.
I remember
comes
that
out,
one.
and that's legendary.
With his silhouette penis.
Yes, that's as raunchy as they got. He's projected against a curtain, and he's playing his guitar, and it just looks like a giant dick.
Horse cock.
Yeah, like the biggest dick you can imagine. And then because Prince is
the tiniest frame you've ever seen.
He's all dick.
Because Prince is, a magic man. As soon as it's raining on him the whole time, as soon as he starts singing "Purple Rain," the rain is just coming down, and it's just this glorious moment that they finally posted. The NFL did right after Prince died, because Prince was notoriously very weird about copyright. Well, about everything, but specifically about copyright stuff.
Yeah.
So that Super Bowl performance, you could only see it on like weird like Russian versions of YouTube and shit like that. The minute he died and his family was like, all right, vaults are open, do whatever you want, the NFL uploaded like a nice high quality version of it, so you can see that online. And then of course the next year, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I watched that one live. That one was just good, Tom Petty, pretty agreeable. It played American Girl, Won't Back Down, Free Fallin', Running Down a Dream. The next year, Bruce Springsteen, also great, but a wildly conservative choice. Did 10th Avenue Freeze Out, Born to Run, Working on Dream, and Glory Days. And I do remember 10th Avenue Freeze Out, him sliding on his knees across the stage and just thinking, man, you can't be doing that. You're 60s.
They're just not gonna like take like an Eminem kind of chance at these anymore. I mean,
well, we're getting there. We're getting back into it. It comes back 2010, kind of the last of that era. You got the Who, which is post John Entwistle being dead. This is
I mean, they're still kind of boisterous playing live. Pete Townsend didn't give a shit when he curses and shit live. He doesn't care.
He looks up child pornography as a reference for a
for a
book. He's cool. He's hip. He's dangerous.
Forgot about
early adopter of the dark web.
Yeah, that's
forgot about that.
This one is bad. If you ever watched this, I was actually talking to our friend of the show, Kyle Clark, last night, and he said this is the thing that turned him on The Who. He watched the Super Bowl and was like, maybe The Who's actually bad. And then the next year, 2011, now we're getting into the more modern era. You got the Black Eyed Peas. You've got Usher. You've got a couple of Dallas-Fort Worth area high school drill teams and Slash.
I remember this one because I remember just Slash in the middle of the stage with smoke and lights, just fucking tearing it up.
This one was. How does everybody feel about the Black Eyed Peas? They're a rough listen.
They play.
They got it started.
They got retarded. Actually.
I still them over Guns N' Roses. Anything that has to do with Guns N' Roses, and that includes Buckethead. Like fucking
wow.
Hate Guns N' Roses.
No fan of the GNR.
No fan. I mean, and I'm not a fan of Black Eyed Peas either. But fuck GNR.
Wow. They do. I Got a Feeling. Boom Boom Pow. Sweet Child of Mine, where Fergie is singing.
But does she sing?
I remember that.
Or does she squeak?
Pump It. I don't even know Pump It.
Oh, I know Pump It.
Sing us a little bit of Pump It.
What's that like old song that I think like Tarantino uses? That
Miser Lou?
Oh, Mr. Lou.
Pump It.
Oh, okay.
Pump It.
Okay.
I think
it was a Black Eyed Peas song.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like the cover. Yeah. Or the sampled. I don't know what you. I don't know music
sample.
They then do "Let's Get It Started," which is the PC version of that song. OMG, which is Usher and will.i.am. Where Is the Love, which is their kind of boring, socially conscious song.
Yeah.
And The Time, and I Got a Feeling reprise at the end. So whatever, boring. Now, the next year, 2012, this one, there's just so much shit happening here. Madonna, LMFAO. Does anyone remember them?
Oh, yeah.
Shots.
Party rock.
Cirque du Soleil is involved. Nicki Minaj, MIA, CeeLo Green, the Avondale High School Drumline, the Center Grove High School Drumline. There's like 6 drum lines.
Is this around the era of "Forget You" by CeeLo Green?
No, they have him playing some terrible songs. Open your heart and express yourself.
Yeah, they're doing.
Are those even songs you recognize?
Well, no, those are Madonna songs.
If I remember, the controversy with this one was MIA flipped off the camera, right?
Oh no! Heaven forbid.
Yeah, I think. Am I misremembering?
No, that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one was.
This is not the one she was pregnant at. That was like the VMAs. She performed pregnant at some.
Oh yeah.
Like a bunch of dance numbers and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's so much. Yeah. This one is essentially the focus is on Madonna. So you got her doing Vogue, music, "Sexy and I Know It," which I guess is the LMFAO song. "Give Me All Your Lovin'." Her and Nicki Minaj and MIA. "Express Yourself Like a Prayer." Very jam packed with people, but sort of forgettable. And then of course the next year. Now, this one I definitely remember, and she, at this point, kind of becomes a staple, which is Beyonce.
She does "Crazy in Love," right?
She does, yeah. So she starts it.
I remember this.
Girls Run the World, Love on Top, Crazy in Love, In Times, Baby Boy, and then of course the reunion, Destiny's Child.
Mm-hmm.
They do Bootylicious, Independent Women Part 1, Single Ladies, and Halo. 2014.
God, those two just wait in the wings until Beyonce is like, I want to talk to my fans who are in their 30s now.
Yeah. The next year, this is where they start to get really strange and rough. Red Hot Chili Peppers and Bruno Mars.
I remember this.
one.
Yeah.
Who wanted this? Who asked for this?
These Super Bowl shows really do underscore if like you have a slight distaste for a band, it really sells home how much you don't like them.
Yeah.
And boy, like Red Hot Chili Peppers for me, it's always been Anthony Kiedis's like weird kind of voice like this. Like this really put me off that band. And it's like California Crude. Like
But also, how do you feel about that mixed with Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars. I don't know how I feel about him. It's just like, hey, he's a guy who had some hits in the early 2010s. And
He's still got hits. He's
still got hits.
Yeah, he still puts stuff out, I think.
24 Karat Magic or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
This is like pre-Uptown Funk, too, so
Yeah,
he didn't even have
Uptown
that as the hit in his back pocket. 2015, the most memed halftime show ever.
Shark.
Left Shark.
Left Shark.
That is
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry. Katy Perry has the distinction of this Super Bowl, but specifically the spike that was added with Katy Perry at the halftime show. 122 million people were watching this halftime show.
Crazy.
And it spiked with the halftime show too, because Katy Perry's kind of the ultimate like, hey, I don't give a shit about this game. And then it's like, oh well, we'll get
Katy Perry in itself is counter programming to football.
Yeah, well, they got wise. They got wise to counter program football. That's very true. But yeah, she comes out, and this was I was watching this at I believe Dave Stone's house with a bunch of comics, and basically everybody's conclusion was, Missy Elliott should do more stuff because she came out and was easily the highlight of the show.
She's great.
Yeah, you're like, God, what? Why haven't we all just been following her career for the past 10 years? What's she been up to since work at, She
had a moment back then in the early 2000s, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's brilliant though.
Had another one
recently
last week during our worst covers gauntlet as part of the Fallout Boy cover of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you can't shit on her though. Even during that Fallout cover, it's like she's just doing her thing.
She's still putting out good music. She put out a good album recently.
Did she? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to like do some research on Missy Elliott, because yeah, I haven't she I feel like she's been featured on stuff, but I haven't really seen her a lot. But that was the conclusion I came away from that one. The next year, 2016, this one was again where you're just like, Jesus, whoever the 40-year-old man who is booking this needs to be shot in the head, because the lineup was Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson. So this is an Uptown Funk era. And then for no goddamn reason, Coldplay.
Mostly
in 2016.
Coldplay.
Huh? Yeah. This
Are they
is
playing a bunch? Are they
2016.
playing like clocks and all the shit from 10 years ago?
Yeah, they do the whole thing. Yellow, Viva La Vida, Paradise, Adventure of a Lifetime, and then there's this hard break, what they call in poetry a volta, where it's like, God, this fucking
that's
sucks.
what volta means.
That's what it means. It means a break in a poem when the theme changes, like at the end of Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner or something like that. So
you're too smart to be doing this podcast.
But that's when you get this hard break, and then it turns like Coldplay just sucks so much ass. They're one of the most easily hateable bands, and I remember he had
mix it with Bruno Mars and Beyonce.
Yeah, well,
mixing
you got yourself a Target soundtrack right there. Yeah,
crap mixed with puke right there.
But at the very least, Beyonce has a cool factor coming into it, where she does her. This is like right before Lemonade drops, and she starts with Formation, and she's at the other end of the field. So it's just been this boring shit Coldplay music, and then all of a sudden this song that she released the day before, because if nothing else, Beyonce is a fucking genius as far as marketing goes.
Oh, yeah.
She drops Formation, and then the next day does it at the goddamn Super Bowl. Wow. And everybody's like, fuck, this is cool. And she's dressed like a Black Panther. She looks like Angela Davis. it's just like cool as shit to look, no matter how you feel about her music and stuff like that.
I think it's great. Yeah.
You're like, this is fucking cool, particularly when compared to a man that has a bunch of different colored tapes on his fingers because they each represent some charity he fucking donates to.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, we've got,
I remember that being a source of controversy. And there's all these Super Bowl halftime shows just stir the pot amongst like the upset like teachers at my high school. They're just like, why would he name his kid Apple?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
I thought you were going for Beyonce because a lot of the stuff you would read on Twitter is just like, she seems angry. You know? And you're like,
Also, I wasn't in high school in 2016, but I am 32, so that would be weird.
2017 brought to you by Pepsi Zero Sugar.
All the flavor, none of the guilt.
And this one was cool as shit. I'm not like a devotee of her music, but I was like, this is dope. And that was the Lady Gaga one.
Oh yeah,
which
when
started
she parachuted off.
She fucking bungeed off the top.
Yeah.
She's standing on top of
Houston Stadium.
NRG
Stadium.
The giant stadium, and she jumps backwards into the goddamn that was cool as shit.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, so a lot of this it now is really firmly transitioned from this like reliable, kind of good music that a lot of people know from like the Tom Petty, Paul McCartney era to now it's back to being a spectacle, but instead of being a lame spectacle like it was during the Disney times, now it's like, okay, let's do some cool shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lady Gaga comes in. She's got no features. That's what's interesting is now seeing like, okay, how deep are we going to pad this thing? We've gone from Madonna coming on the stage with like 40 pop stars to now it's just Lady Gaga doing her Lady Gaga shit. And then the next year, of course, you got Justin Timberlake. This is 2018.
They trusted him to come back.
They trusted him to come back, and this was definitely
Hey, just don't get so handsy with the talent, all right, JT?
Well, this was made mention on Twitter, and I kind of agree.
Wasn't there Me Too happening around?
Hell yeah, Me Too is happening. They were coming for his ass over this, and kind of
He
understand.
can't stop touching people.
I mean,
he
well,
just recently got in trouble with that shit too.
Did he really?
It was like holding hands with his
co-star, and like they got
shit.
drunk together or something, and he publicly apologized to Jessica Biel and his family.
Oh boy, he had to release a press statement across the living room to his wife. This one, the right thing to do, obviously, would have been to have Janet Jackson come back and sort of, not rip her shirt off.
Yeah.
Have
her rip his pants
have
off.
pull his dick out
Yeah.
and wag it.
And he has like a little sun thing over his
Dick
dick.
shield.
They would have protected against. They would have been like, you have to go out in button fly jeans.
No, he's got a rip-off suit.
His long johns on.
No, he's got the Borat, the Borat bathing suit that comes, that's got the dick and it comes up over the shoulders.
Yeah,
He just kind of stands there with his thumbs up.
Yeah, he's got the on his ass cheeks is written "Vote now." They always have to throw in like "vote," vote as soon as you can. Vote,
enlist in the military, and vote.
Oh, you don't like it? Then fucking vote.
And then this previous year, we're up to the modern era.
Oh god, this is like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like underlined 3 times. Same thing. It's like if you dislike a band, this is really going to drive home how much you hate them.
Well, so this is now we're in the era of Cap, right? This is when the whole kneeling during the anthem thing is going on.
Right.
The NFL is it's masks off time. The NFL is a bunch of reactionary, shitheads who are only concerned with money, and they're pretty much spineless and stupid, and only idiots like it. So they got the most appropriate band, which is Maroon 5.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
No, close though. Yeah, the Maroon 5 is definitely the Nickelback of our era.
Yeah.
Who's the Nickelback of Nickelback's era?
Nickelback.
Nickelback, right?
Yeah. But just overall, like they were such a perfect choice for that year because it's a politically charged year now.
Everybody, calm down. That's basically what he's singing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this is when Adam Levine rips his shirt off and everybody sees his horrible, horrible tattoos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's got a bunch.
I forgot about that. That was a shitty one.
That one is unbelievably bad, but it did remind everybody how many hits Maroon 5 had and how stupid all of them are.
Yeah.
As I recall, it was a good game, though. Like, didn't it come right down to it with the game?
No.
No,
no.
Shitty game too.
Patriots whooped
the
on the
Patriots
Rams.
beat the living shit
right,
out of
right.
out of the Rams, and no one in LA noticed that we were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was the first year I've ever lived in a city that was in the Super Bowl, and most people, I can safely say, barely noticed. Like, when I was informed that the Rams were in the Super Bowl, I was like, oh, wow, cool.
Great.
Okay.
But a good part of this Super Bowl halftime show, Travis Scott came out, performed Sicko Mode, everybody's favorite song. And then Big Boy from Outkast came out, performed Kryptonite, which is weird he would do that because it's about weed.
And
the way you move.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you saw this, Big Boy raises owls to like sell, and he had an owl come and land on his arm during the halftime show.
Oh man!
Oh shit!
Yeah, he had an owl come out.
Okay.
And then he sent it back.
Dude, Big Boy doesn't get enough credit for Andre's like, what's Andre going to do next? Big Boy's been killing it since.
Oh yeah,
he's a hustler. He fucking works so hard. I saw him at a fucking festival one time. It was so good.
Dude, that Lucius Left Foot, that album.
That's
love that album.
Yeah. But yeah, and so now we're this week got the big game coming up.
The big game.
Yeah,
the big game.
The big game. The superb owl.
The Lombardi Trophy
win the Vince Lombardi
on the line.
And again, this one, and he got shit for this too, for I would say good reason. Jay-Z is helping to produce this one with the NFL. So
J-Lo and Shakira, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
Just shows how much
any
of a
number
bitch
of
Jay-Z
mystery.
is.
His Spotify doesn't work, and now he's doing this.
Well, it's more. Well, he tried to act like he was. He bought a part of the NFL, like some sort of partnership in it.
Yeah,
and he was like, I'm gonna make it better for black people. Colin Kaepernick. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna talk to him and all this shit.
No, he said we're past kneeling.
Yeah,
it's time to stand up. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
You've been rich too long. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He's lost all perception of reality.
Yeah, but
it's a nice little statement you're trying to make and all that. But it's time to play ball.
The other thing that's crazy is like the charity that he's donated all this money that the NFL is like working with is like on paper supposed to be like working on like gang violence in Chicago, and it's literally this like Trump crazy Christian woman who basically gets people to cut off their dreadlocks to show that they're like new people, or like, I'm a new man, I'm not in a gang anymore. So it's just the awful optics of a white woman shaving black and brown people's dreadlocks
We're
off.
past dreadlocks.
It's so fucking wild. Like, if you look into that Jay-Z story, you're just like, you could have done 5 seconds of research and known that everyone was going to drag your dumb ass for doing this.
Jay-Z's been a bitch. Let's be honest.
I would say post Lemonade, everyone's been kind of like, fuck Jay-Z.
Nah, ever since Ether dropped.
Ether?
Yeah, the Nas diss track.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think his diss track was superior.
I don't know. Nobody else thinks that.
No? It's on the blueprint.
The Takeover?
Yeah, the Takeover
I like
rules.
The Takeover, but I'm also one of them dumb people that likes the Doors, so who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Saliva.
Power Man 5000. Just throwing that out for like the 4th time since it got brought up.
I liked them. I used to draw pictures of the band members when I was a kid.
Wow, what a journey.
It's been a journey.
We did it.
We're the Super Bowl halftime show.
We're up to the Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, that's it. So yeah,
thank God.
Thank God we did it. So overall, I guess we'll try to end this by we'll go around. Carter, if you could put on a Super Bowl halftime show right now, you only have living artists available to you. But you have been hired to produce the halftime show. Mm-hmm. Who do you get? What's your mishmash?
Talk about getting put on the spot.
Do you go for something good? Do you go for something funny? I think you can go either way.
Living artists,
and you can take this any way you want. You can either make it a thing where you're trying to shock the world, or maybe you're just trying to have some good tunes.
While he thinks, I have one already.
You go for it. Yeah,
Sam,
Kanye West.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Use this gospel. Get his full Nebuchadnezzar opera, the fucking Sunday service. Get the whole crazy shit. let him produce it himself.
Yeah, I don't like his music anymore, but it would just be crazy to watch.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be the shit, dude. It's just him and his wife. Give the whole thing to Kim and Kanye.
Wearing his MAGA hat.
The whole thing. Just let him do what. No, he could ride to the field on a giant MAGA hat.
He would probably stop at one point, try to make some point or give some speech or some shit.
Yeah, he could preach.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't do any of his hits. It would be awesome.
He'd probably do a whole new 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't think of one better than Kanye West. I don't know, Weird Al Yankovic could come out.
Well,
You know,
so that was
do
what I
Weird
was going
Al.
to say. There's been an online push almost every year.
Yeah.
Since the internet became big, to get Weird Al to do the damn Super Bowl, and I'm like, yeah, why not?
I mean,
at this
have you
point?
seen the man's stage show? I mean, he's adaptable.
Perfect. Yeah, and especially
get him to do all Kanye songs from Jesus King.
Well, yeah,
Get him to do some collabs.
Yeah.
He comes out and instead of Kenny G doing the solo on "Use This Gospel," it's accordion.
Yeah, and
plays the Kenny G part on his accordion.
And it's something like, use this dachshund or something. It's all about wiener dogs. Cheeses are king or something like that.
Use this dachshund to find badgers. It's what they were bred for.
Yeah. I'll say Weird Al doing Jesus is King for the Super Bowl.
That was mine, man. My ideal stage show, right? Weird Al comes out, does Smells Like Nirvana with Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic, right? So you could literally just do a parade of all of his things. He comes out and does the Flintstones, the Bedrock Anthem with the Chili Peppers.
Right.
He does Perform This Way with Lady Gaga. And then, can cap it off with, get Don McClain out there to do his, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later. But yeah, that's the one. That's the one for me. Omar, what do you think?
Oh, fuck.
You're producing, baby. It can be anything you want.
All right. In the vein of mixing artists who should have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Daft Punk and Neil Diamond.
Oh, shit.
That would actually be awesome.
That would be dope as fuck. Because obviously this week Caroline's got, built-in
everyone's
sports
gonna
implications.
chant.
Shit, that rules.
They should just do an album.
It'll hit the right bass with the coming to America. Everybody love that shit.
And then harder, better, faster, stronger. Dude.
They get Neil to do like the last song, but get a bunch of like other young gun rock bands to like do songs of his.
Well, plus you can bring in Pharrell. You can bring in.
You can always bring in Pharrell.
Yeah, Pharrell can do Get Lucky.
Pharrell.
You can bring in. I mean, if you can get Kanye's crazy ass to do Stronger, you can bring him out.
Who do you get to do You'll Be a Woman Soon?
Oh, dude, just get Uma Thurman to come out there and dance around.
But who sings it, Because Daft Punk, they don't sing. They're just robots that play disco music.
Yeah, that's true.
From France.
Yeah. Well, you get Neil to sing it. He sung it originally. It's his song.
Yes, I think he got to save Neil at the end for Sweet Caroline.
They would program one of their robots to sing.
Yeah. They'd get him in there. That's the Super Bowl halftime show, everybody. What do you think? You can tweet at us at The Goods Pod and tell us if there was a Super Bowl show that you saw that you liked. We'd love to hear about it. Or if you have a great combination for one, we'd also love to hear about it. Omar, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
I am on the social medias, Omar X Nava, at Omar X Nava on both Instagram and Twitter. And I guess there's like a Facebook page too, just Omar Nava Comedy.
Nice. All right. Carter, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram as Dr. Clark and on Twitter as Carter_Glasscock.
And Sam, where can people find you?
Facebook, Sam Harder.
Are you off both Twitter and Instagram?
Oh, I guess I'm on Instagram, but I never fucking use it. Instagram, Slam Harder.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley. And of course, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheGoodsPod. We are on Twitter at TheGoodsPod. Every episode ever, youtube.com/TheGoodsPod. And of course, you can buy a shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/TheGoodsPod. The best way to support this show, though, is to go to Patreon, patreon.com/TheGoodsPod. Join the Tower of Power $5 a month gets you access to a bonus show every week. So go to patreon.com. And
we just got some great headphones.
I was going to say, we're all wearing brand new headphones thanks to our patrons, and we're sitting in new chairs too. So
And it makes me feel like, how the fuck did we do this podcast before these? Like, honestly, I was so uncomfortable, and I didn't realize how bad it was.
Dude, I was on the verge of moving back. I was like, fuck this. Fuck. I mean, I appreciate the opportunity or whatever, but this hurts my ears. But no, this is great. This is
and
luxury.
of course, the second best way to support the show, go to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. And doing all of that, I mean, literally, look, I say it all the time, rate, review, and subscribe. It's as easy as clicking 5 stars and just writing the words, good show. It'll take 2 seconds. You don't have to write an elaborate review.
Is that too much for you? Is that too much for you?
Great show. Fun. Whatever. You know.
You got a lot going on in your day.
Yeah, but you
watching old Super Bowl halftime shows.
Maybe I'm going to watch season 3 of Stranger Things again.
But you can do it from your damn phone. So go ahead and do that. And doing all of that.
Carter.
I'm
sorry.
Give us $5. You're smart.
But yeah, all of that shows the attitude of gratitude. If you don't have the attitude of gratitude,
we're going to sign your child up for the marching band and make him play the sousaphone.
We'll see you next week. The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.